I've been reporting gig racing on television and radio for more than 30 years. And like gig rowers, I know there's nothing quite like it. The sights and sounds of a thrilling gig race are unique. The coxes calling for tens, the oars hitting the thole pins, the longboat's bows crashing through the waves. The excitement of a close race. No wonder more and more people have been attracted to a sport which is said to be the fastest growing in the country. But this growth is a challenge for the governing body of the sport, the Cornish Pilot Gig Association. It now supports 86 clubs and 5,300 registered rowers spread across 12 counties. So the CPGA has got funding from Cornwall Council and the Local Enterprise Partnership to make a plan for the future.
It's all to do with the delivering of a sport which has gone from being something that was very much around small coves and villages and that sort of stuff now to, potentially one or two of the biggest events that would happen, sporting events that happen in the southwest.
The work of the CPGA includes a calendar of over 40 events and maintaining the specification of the gigs, measuring each new boat 3 times during its build. It also delivers projects like Club in a Box to help new clubs start up. There's also the pulling together the past heritage work, and at the moment the Energy 2 project, supporting boat building skills through a partnership with the Falmouth Marine School.
We thought it'd be a fantastic project for them to get the students involved for those traditional skills to build a gig. A fantastic project. It sums up everything we do, really.
The sport has been run by volunteers since the association was set up in 1986.
So the sport being run by volunteers is obviously an incredible asset, and those volunteers have huge amounts of knowledge and experience in delivering the sport. But the risk is that if somebody leaves or those volunteers get diminished as they have in recent years, that the sport is a bit exposed, and obviously we're really keen to secure the future of the sport and make sure that there's no danger of being set back in any way.
Last year, while gig racing was cancelled and boats like the Fear Not here were undercover because of coronavirus restrictions, the CPGA trustees used the time to carry out a number of surveys and questionnaires asking clubs and individual rowers about how they saw the future of gig racing. What were the challenges? What help was needed? Clubs described many challenges, and at the top of the list were issues like attracting and retaining members, particularly juniors, and securing sponsorship. They also asked for help in a range of areas like coaching, grant funding, race coxing and umpiring, and safety and safeguarding. All these rely on proper support and training for club officials and volunteers. There are lots more as well, and these are things that a properly funded and professionally run governing body can sort out. Which brings us to the new plan, a strategy for the future, a response to what rowers and clubs have identified during the consultation. As we've seen, there's a need to develop juniors' involvement to provide training for coaches, coxswains and umpires, and a host of other important things like safety and safeguarding, finding sponsorship and making sure the sport is in a good shape for future generations of gig rowers to be part of. The strategy is what clubs have said they need and what rowers have said they want. All those new developments, along with what the CPGA already does, is too much for the volunteers. Just about all sports have paid staff to do that kind of work. That's most often paid for by a membership fee for those taking part. Rugby, football, cricket, surf lifesaving, hockey, netball, the list goes on. They all have membership fees which help pay for the governing body.
We have to raise money. If we're going to have the right people in the right position doing the right jobs and the right thing for everybody, then we have to pay somebody to do that. And the only way to raise that money is through our membership, trying to be fair to our membership and keep the costs as low as possible.
bringing people in with diverse skills to support clubs with the services they need, to provide training, to administer properly. We've got an amazing administrator on a voluntary basis, but we certainly need to, just through the sheer demands facing her, bring in some professional support there.
The proposal is that gig rowers will become individual members of the CPGA. The annual fee for over 18s will be £30 a year. Under 18s will pay nothing at all. Now, I'm told by the trustees that £30 a year is just over 57 pence a week, £2.50 a month, less than the cost of a pint. Cheers.
How do I feel? I feel very sad about it. I wish it didn't have to happen. I know that it has to change. I accept that. I've looked at all the figures, I've looked at everything. It's all been presented really well to us. We've seen what has to be done, and the only way to do that is to become more professional.
The membership fee is the first step in the new setup. It will help bring in more sponsorship and other funding, so members won't be paying for it all. The new arrangement will lead to a new programme for junior racing, training for volunteers, for coaches and race officials, new and better competitions, perhaps an annual festival of rowing. It will support clubs with safety, safeguarding and other legal issues. All these benefits will be delivered by a team of newly recruited and paid staff, a manager, administrator, club development officer and event support officer, to really give clubs the help they need and get the new activities off the ground.
Really at the minute, we're very limited in what we do because mainly it's club based, so we're trying to get more championships involved, let's say more development for the sport, more growth for the sport and more support for everyone that's involved with the sport.
There is little to match the culture of gig rowing. The fierce but mostly friendly competition on the water, time together off the water, the helping hands and friendships that last a lifetime. The trustees insist there are no plans to change any of that. In fact, the aim is to maintain the culture and secure it for future generations of rowers.
I see clubs thriving. I see the volunteers that are running the clubs being better supported through training, and I see individual rowers experiencing a more quality competition circuit, really raising the quality of those events, making sure there are lots of inclusive events and making sure that everybody gets the most out of this fantastic sport.
This is clearly an exciting time for the sport, and it seems like a very important moment in its development. So that's it. Before the clubs have their say, the CPGA want to know what you think. Are you willing to pay that annual membership fee? Click on the link below, take part in the survey and answer simply yes or no. That's it. Thanks for watching.